Good morning. I am going to start talking you through some of the things that you saw in your Algebra 1 lesson today over section 13.4. I will do more with 13.4 tomorrow, so I'm going to break this into two parts for you just like we've been doing. So we are going to focus first on 4 vocab words, which you should have seen in your Algebra 1 video. The first one is mean. So mean means the same thing as average. And when you're finding the mean, what you're going to do is you're going to add up all the terms and then divide by the number of terms. And we will practice this on an example. So mean and average, again, mean the same thing. So you have to be careful of that because they will use those words interchangeably on assignments over this. You also should have heard about the word median in your Algebra 1 lesson. And median means the same thing as the middle. When you're finding the median, something that's important for you to pay attention to is that your data has to be in order. Otherwise, you can't find the middle data piece. You also should have heard about mode. Mode is the most common value that you see, so something that's occurring most frequently if there is one. It's an important thing for you to know that it is possible for a data set to have no mode. It's also possible that a data set can have more than one mode. So you just have to pay attention, but you're essentially counting up how many times does the same value occur. And then the last one that you should have heard about was range. And to find the range, you're going to take the largest value minus the smallest value. All right, so we're going to look at an example where we are going to find all 4 of these things for the data set that I give you. So you have a data set on the screen right now, and for this data set, we are going to find the 4 things that we talked about on the prior slide. So we are going to start by finding the mean. And remember what I wrote for you is that in order for you to find the mean, you are going to add up all of the data pieces. So we are going to take all of those numbers that you see up there, and we're going to add them all up. And then we're going to divide by how many terms there are. So now we're just going to count up. And when I counted those up, I got 10. So now we just need to simplify this. So if you add up all of the values across the top, I got 41. And this is divided by 10, which means that the mean of the data set would be 4.1. So that's something important to take note of, that you're not always going to get a nice value, meaning something that's not a fraction or a decimal, as your mean, but it still is correct. So now if we look at median, in order for us to find the median, we are going to need to find the middle value. And if you remember, I said that to do that, you need to organize the data from least to greatest. So your data has to be in order. So I'm going to start by rewriting this list so that these values are in order from least to greatest. So there's your data listed, same exact set of values, just now they're listed from least to greatest. And if we want to find the median, we want to find the middle. So if we start on the outsides and work our way in, what you're going to find is that the middle is both of these values. Now, that does not mean that 4 and 5 are both the median. But when you get to the middle and there are two numbers in the middle, what you have to do to find the median is you have to find the average of those two values. So that means we would be taking 4 plus 5 and dividing by 2. So that becomes 9 over 2, which is 4.5 or 4.5. So the median of this data set is 4.5. So this now leaves us with two more things that we need to find. So those two things are mode. And if you remember, mode is talking about the most common value that you're going to find. So if we want to find the mode, we're looking for the number that shows up most often. So what would be the number that you see occurring most often? Hopefully, as you look at this list, you're saying that the mode is 5, because 5 shows up 1, 2, 3 times, and that's the only value that shows up that often. So then the very last thing that we need to find is we need to find the range. And if you remember from the other slide, I told you that finding range would mean taking the largest value minus the smallest value. So the nice part is that we can easily find those because we already reorganized our data for the median. So we can see that the largest value is 9, and then we're going to subtract from that the smallest, which is 0, which tells us that this data set has a range of 9. So you have posted for you an assignment, 3 questions on Canvas that I'm asking you to complete. Just like every other time, you can work through that up to 3 times, and I will just take your highest score. Okay, so you're going to work on that today, and then tomorrow I will be back with you to take a look at the rest of the material from section 13.4. Have a great day.